Okay.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
How are you? Welcome back.
Great, nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to see you.
Hello,
Welcome,
yeah.
welcome. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Welcome to the
Hello.
session.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Again. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you all. How's everyone doing today?
Great, how are you? Good.
Yeah. Did you all get enough power to go through the session?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm happy to have you all here.
As always.
Thank you. How was the traffic this morning?
A nightmare. As usual.
Yeah, I encountered the same issue, so I feel you on that. Hopefully one day we will get rid of this. But nevertheless, the weather is fine, so...
We are very happy.
Yes, the sun is shining, so now we are about to learn new things, and I'm sure you are all eager of that, so...
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to the session. Today is a session as indicated on the TV. We will talk about how we will have to handle a customer complaint in a restaurant. So it has to do with the food and beverage front of house, right? Whether it's at breakfast, at lunch, or at a buffet. To begin with, I'm gonna ask you all to open your laptops and to go on the Padlet that I have just sent you last night. I'm sure you all have looked into the homeworks. And for the next couple of minutes, we will sort of play a little game. And there is a Padlet that I posted. And I'm gonna ask you for the next 5 minutes to complete whatever you feel like in that Padlet.
Is that Padlet?
Yeah, just go down below.
Okay.
Some of you have received my email last night.
Yes.
I think Aminta, yeah.
Of course.
Okay. If you would be
Next
so
to
kind to,
Padlet?
yes, just open it. Yeah, right there. Okay. And you have the scenario, and whatever you think you need to add, just make a note there, and we will discuss in the next couple of minutes. Okay. Have you already a scenario? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Hit enter. Publish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
publish. Thank you.
Let's see if it will appear here.
It goes on your
It's
screen.
supposed to come up here. Yes, thank you, Georgetta, for your comment. So the scenario was that a customer complained about his soup being mixed up with a different soup that he requested. And the waiter, whenever he was called back, he rolled his eyes and he says that the mistake is done by the kitchen, and he returns with the correct soup in front of the guest without saying anything, and then the customer's upset, calls the supervisor, which again blame the kitchen. So I had launched 3 questions on this scenario. One was how the waiter should respond to this situation. And I'd like to ask you one more time. I'm happy that I see some comments there. The Georgetta answered the waiter should take the suggested claim of the guest with consideration. Very good point. But now I'm asking the rest of the class, how would you think the waiter supposed to respond in this situation? Please.
First of all, I don't think you should argue with the guest.
Correct.
Even if it's not his even if it's mistake,
Very
if
good.
he ordered something wrong, you should not argue with the guest. You can say, I don't know, I'm quite sorry that this happened. I will do my best to solve your problem or to solve this issue, but you should do it with a smile on your face.
Fantastic. Very good answer. Anybody else? Let's see, Aminta.
Well, I think that he always should be kind and help out, even if the customer is wrong. It doesn't matter, you have to
So
listen to him and do
Okay.
whatever it takes to make him happy.
very good. So it's very, very appropriate to take care of the customer's needs. At the end of the day, they are the one they pay our salaries. Please.
Yeah, I just want to point out that the waiter should not roll his eyes, which is very, very bad.
Very
in
good
front of the
observation.
client.
Very, very good. Yes, all these things makes a customer at the end of the meal to complain or while eating his soup, right? So these are a few very good points that you point out. I'm gonna move on to the next question. Will the attitude of the staff impact the returning of the guest to the restaurant? So, in other words, do you think is this a way of having more customers or rejecting our customers?
Definitely, he will not come back to your venue or to our establishment, restaurant, whatever you want to call it.
It's true.
And I'm quite sure, if I will do that, I will also advise my friends, acquaintances to don't go in that restaurant.
Excellent
because
point.
You are treated rude on your own money.
Excellent point, and we will get to that further on to our lesson. We will talk about this effect that you have just mentioned. Please.
The same thing I wanted to say is Georgian, that maybe he will go back or not, but for sure he will mention to their friends about this experience, and these kind of bad things go on, have more speed than the positive things, which people usually expect to be normal in a place where you go and where you like to go as usual.
Okay, so this is more like a word of mouth thing that you have just mentioned.
Yes.
So this will affect or will not affect our business?
It would affect definitely because this will pass on to other guests by saying, making this comment, well, I went there and I was treated badly, and it's gonna start to tell everybody, and then everybody will know it by social media or other parts like that.
They are nowadays with these social media people, they can tweet, they can write on Facebook or on these platforms that we are all using nowadays. So the word of mouth is, but I'll get back to that further on the lesson. And the last questions that I ask is, what impact, will the attitude of the staff will impact the returning of the guest to the restaurant? So in other words, if I'm treating the customers badly, will they ever come back? Or if I treat them nicely, they will never come back? That's the thing I wanted to say. Let's see. Aminta?
If you treat them nicely, they will forever come back.
There you are.
If you treat them badly, you lose them and also lose a lot of money due to marketing and other stuff that can appear and impact our business.
Correct. From my experience, I can share with you that I know a lot of customers. I personally have a restaurant that I go, probably not for the ambience or the decoration of the place, but I go for the waiters, for their friendliness and for their attitude. So they make me feel good. So I'm coming back to the restaurant. So this is a key important.
I think also you like to go there because they know you and they know your preferences, and also that makes you feel very welcome there.
Very, very good, very good. Thank you for participating on this, hold on, please just give me a second, on this session. Okay, so we have just played this little game in order for us to move into the our lesson of today. And Before we move on, I'd like to ask a couple of questions from our previous session. Does anybody recall what was our last session, yesterday's session? Please.
Service ways.
Service ways. What have we learned on the service ways? Let me ask a brief question. If you are a customer and you ask for a side salad, right? On which side of the guest this side salad goes? Please.
I think, yeah.
Please. On the left hand. Do you know why? No? You don't recall it? Well, usually you eat your salad with your fork, which you always hold on your left hand side. So that's why it's on the left. Otherwise, if you place it on the right, what will it happen?
I think when you place the salad on the right and you are a left-hand, person, you move your salad, or you just go through, which is not very comfortable. So that's why it's much more. It's better to put the salad on the left-hand side.
This is, thank you for the answer, very good answer. Sometimes you want to eat your salad and you go across, then you can dirt your sleeve and stuff like that, so it's not very appropriate. But that was the answer. Let me recall another question. Coffee. If you are having a meal and you have a dessert on the table and you ask for coffee, on which side of the guest the coffee goes? Let's see, Amita.
I think on the right side.
On the right hand side, that's the correct answer. And why on the right and not on the left to get the pattern?
Because usually 90% of the people are right.
You are right-handed and you drink. Yeah, go ahead.
If you're left-handed and the waiter doesn't know,
If you are a left-hander and the waiter doesn't know, it doesn't matter, to be honest with you, because that's the procedure we use in restaurants. It's
Okay.
part of a SOP or a local SOP.
okay.
Okay? And
Because actually we cannot ask each client if you
Yeah.
are right-handed or left-handed.
can you imagine, you always go, which way would you like, your coffee or your salad? So it's not appropriate. You serve it, and then if they prefer to move it, that's not a problem. Or sometimes they can ask. If they ask you to move the salad, for instance, on the right-hand side, what would you do?
I would, if I would be a waiter, I would, stop for a moment and think why. But of course, I would do what the client asked.
Of course. So yet again, at the end of the day, we are there to please them. So if they ask me to place it on the other side, we will do that for them. Okay, and one last question. If we are serving a lobster dish, and we all know that sometimes you have to use your hands, although we use all these utensils, but you use your bare hands. What do we do in case that the customers get dirty on their hands? Please.
Water bowl, a warm water bowl with petals and lemon.
Yes, this is our way. In our restaurants, we use a water bowl with warm water and a few petals of flowers, if available. If not, a slice of lemon will do just fine. In order for them to, what do they do with this water?
I'm usually eating lobster, and I know that I like very much the petal flowers to clean my hands.
To clean your hands.
Yes, yes.
So these petal flowers, what gives you if you see these petal flowers in there?
It's a very fine feeling, and it's pleasing the customer, and it's, let's say, accomplish the meal with the lobster, which is a very exquisite meal.
Very good, very good. So at the end of the day, it's nice to have a bowl of water with a few petals there. It makes the eye
Nice.
enjoyable, and then you clean your hands. Very good answer. That gives me the feeling that you all have been attentive to our last session. Now we will move into our today's session, and I think I jumped. No, okay, I'm fine. Why do customers complain? And sorry, I'm sorry. Our objectives of today. At the end of this session, you will be able to understand the causes of customer complaints, know the steps to follow when complaints are received, understand the impact of the customer in business. We briefly talked about it. We will develop a little bit more. And you will be able to define what to do, how to do, and what not to do in front of the guest when facing a complaint. Okay? Now, I'm gonna ask the class if any one of you have experienced a complaint being a waiter, or you as a customer had to complain somewhere. Anybody want to share a short story?
Definitely, I think all of us had a situation where we complain, actually not making, let's not say complain, but give a negative feedback to the customer or to the owner of the venue.
Okay. Can you share this story with us? 2 minutes.
Okay, we had, I will say one situation where I complained.
Yeah.
I asked I was in a restaurant, I was going out with my family in a restaurant, and I asked a beef, being chef, I like my food, my beef being to have it rare. I asked a beef rare. The order took the other friends and family order, and at the end, I asked him again, make sure that my beef is rare.
Okay.
I don't know why, because I mentioned twice to him. At the end, he came with the beef. When he brought the food, my beef was well done. Not,
Okay.
but it was not in one piece. It was also cut and cooked, well done. And I asked, look, I told you twice I want it rare. This one is well done.
So you called the waiter.
Yeah. When he brought the food, when he placed it on the table, I immediately cut the meat and I saw that he's well done.
Okay.
And he argued, let's not say argue, but he told me, no, you said well done. Look, I put it in my notebook, and everyone from the table was trying to explain to him that, no, he said rare, and he said twice. And I finished eating it well done. Because-
Okay, so he didn't solve the problem.
No.
Okay, so not solving. Okay. So what can we see about your story? Very sad story in a way, but a good story for the class. So the customer asked for a rare steak, came out well done, the waiter was called, the waiter argued. Then the issue was not solved, and the customer ended up eating a well done steak. How was the customer feeling at the end of his dinner?
Very, very unhappy.
Good answer. Cosmin, you wanna develop?
If I was in place of
Yeah.
Georgia, I feel like they forced me to eat that meat,
Very good.
something like this. Yeah.
Very good. So all these things, the two key elements, the arguing and the not solving problem, gives you a sour taste at the end of the meal. And then all these factors, the two factors that we have here, are leading to what? Let's see. What they are a part of the sadness of the customer. What do they lead to?
To unsatisfaction.
Unsatisfaction.
Bad experience.
Okay. Anything else?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yes, 110 to 100. I'll recall this. Okay. Any other key element that it will impact?
Losing money.
Losing money, who? The customer?
We as
The
a
business.
company, the business.
Okay. So the business loss, right? So you see, from one key element, which was a misunderstanding or mistake of the waiter or the kitchen, it doesn't matter in this case who, from rare to well done, all these other elements will impact whether the business, whether the customer. So we need to take in consideration all these complaints. Do you think a complaint is a part of our life, being in food and beverages?
All the time.
All the time. So this complaint is a way of life, because there is a saying, there is no 100% customer satisfactory. It's impossible. Whether you go even to Ritz-Carlton, there always will be somebody who will request something, and it might not be available or something. But yes, so these complaints are part of food and beverages side, and we have to take them in consideration accordingly. Please please.
I think they are very important for having very good services. If someone doesn't get a feedback, they don't know how to adjust their services. And I think it's really important, bad or good, because it's
Very
the
good.
same important to have.
Very
both
good
of
point.
them.
That was my next point. It is important to keep track on these complaints because we need to not only to follow up on the guest complaint, but to develop our own business. So it is, yes, very important to keep tracking, right? So tracking complaint. Okay, okay. Let's move on. Very good answers. I'm quite impressed with the class today. Okay. I'm gonna share with you a little story on my own that had happened just the other day. There's 3 families. We went out for lunch and we got there like at 12 o'clock. We've been waiting for the food up until 1:30. Nothing came out. We understood that the establishment was busy, but at a certain point we saw next to our table another table joined. The waiter took their orders, and their food came out, and our food never arrived. So we went to ask, not complain, to ask, hey, listen, what happened? Why? And then, although the waiter at the beginning was nice, the thing, he suddenly changed his attitude and he blamed it on the kitchen. So I'm gonna ask you now, what do you think this waiter should have done in that situation, please?
I think first of all, mistakes can happen,
Yes.
but you have to take responsibility. of that.
Responsibility,
I
yes.
think many times for a waiter, for someone being in services, it's better to be nicer than to be right. But especially when you have done a mistake, it's good not to be passive aggressive or just
Okay.
taking, even if it's not your fault, and somehow compensate with something, with nice attitude.
Okay, compensate.
Or with a nice cream in the end for the children. It happened to me to wait 1.5 hours for the children's food, and the waiter was so funny every time passing by, but not only us, the others as well, coming with jokes. Oh, sorry, I know they slept already before meal, and coming with jokes, and you don't feel that bad, even if the other things are not met, your necessities are not met.
Good example. Coming back to my story, what else he should have done? Just a reminder, he blamed it on the kitchen. I don't know what happened in the kitchen. So he didn't, that's all he told us. Then
He should take responsibility. He should find a way to make them, I don't know how to say, make the guest not feel so upset.
So
upset. Yes, I think also he shouldn't blame nobody.
Okay.
He only would said that he's sorry and
Sorry, yes,
sorry.
apologize.
and to solve the problem. I will solve it. I'm sorry and I will solve it.
Apologize. It is very important. It's nice to apologize. Whether it's your mistake as a waiter or somebody else's, it doesn't matter. You are the communication with the guest in terms of the food.
Yes, and actually you are not just a waiter, you represent the establishment,
The
you represent the restaurant.
You're the image.
So you are the image, so you apologize in the name of the establishment, not only your name or the kitchen name.
Very good. If he would ever apologize, what else? What was the next step? He would
Give something from the house, I don't know, maybe offer a coffee, offer something like
some
an
offerings,
bush,
yes. Okay,
something to give them a bite.
okay. Like a free compensation.
Yeah,
right?
Like
something.
bread and butter.
Yeah, bread
or
and butter,
something,
some peanuts, some
Very good,
chips.
very good. But after they apologize, what he should have done? In order
Report it to his supervisor.
report it or try to
Fix it.
fix it, right? Try to fix it.
Prioritize.
Fix it, right? It is important to show the customer that, as we said, you are apologizing. Maybe you can say, in order to to have your food ready. Before the food is ready, I will give some salads, or I will pour another round of wine or something, and then try to fix the problem. Because if they see that you are willing to fix the problem, they will most probably be more flexible with the please.
Could this be avoided by a little bit more communication from the waiter side from the beginning, as in you would advance, okay, we have a busy restaurant, food might have taken a bit longer so the customer know ahead of time?
That's a very good point, but this is a different way of training that we normally do in order to anticipate whatever the guest
Okay.
have to expect. But very good point. But to coming back to my story, if he would have apologized and tried to fix it, or maybe a little offerings, maybe the impact was not that big on a negative side. Very, very well. Well, moving on. Just give me one sec. Okay. Right. So, let's see, why does customer complains? Let's see, let me hear from the audience.
Because their needs are not met.
Good point. Needs are not met. Good. Anybody?
Expectations are not satisfied.
Expectations are not satisfied.
The quality of the food doesn't match.
Quality of the food doesn't match. There are expectations.
The
As
time,
George
the
said,
time that,
time. So there are lots of factors that can influence my experience as a customer or your experience as a customer in a restaurant, right? So we have listed here a few key elements. When order gets delayed, you just mentioned, dining area is not clean. So to make a little remark here, what I do every time I go to a restaurant, in a hotel especially, before I enter the restaurant, I go to the toilets. And if the toilets are nice and clean and there's a smell of fresh breath and everything, for sure these people, they know what they're doing. And I expect that to find into the dining room too. So just a little orientation. Okie dokie. Then, when food quality is not high enough, you mentioned that, very good. When the service staff is rude or unresponsive, we have just pointed out. And when guests are caught unaware of hidden costs. That is a trick thing. You will never want to see on the menu that the beef is 25 euro, and then at the end of the meal came out 35 euro. What would you do in this case?
You don't have, you pay, first of all, that's the only, if it's something which is not legal, yeah, you can threaten them that you will sue them. But if just, it's something, it's written small somewhere, you have to pay, definitely. But I will never come back to that.
Okay.
I will write them an online review. I will say, I will speak about this issue with all my
Friends.
acquaintances, not friends, acquaintances,
Okay.
and definitely I will not go there anymore.
Okay. Giulietta?
I will ask the manager to come and explain me why I will ask the waiter to call the manager to explain me what is the difference that I have to pay, and I was not aware from the very start.
So by saying that you call the manager, you expect that manager to come and fix the problem somehow, or just to make you understand why?
Sometimes it's just, complaining and the feeling that somebody took in consideration my request. Maybe, as Georgia said, I will pay.
Okay.
Even I was not aware of that from the very beginning, but if a higher hierarchical person come and, talk to me, and also maybe I will get a glass of wine for free, or, digestive for free, I would be happy.
So, okay, but yet again, you don't want to find any hidden costs, because this is very, very, very disturbing for a guest.
Unpleasant.
So we have to be upfront. Now, we have talked about all this responsibility, apologize, being proactive, fix the problem, things that we talked about in order to handle this complaint or a complaint. Do you think, how do you think we can establish a way of communication between as a waiter in our case and the customer? Would he be how do I call this? Would it be okay for him to have as a credo? Does anybody know what credo is? What is a credo?
It's a statement that defines you as business.
As business, so something that business.
It's a promise from you to the guest.
Very good answer. Thank you for that. So, do you think this credo thing will help to handle complaints, like a way of pattern of handling complaints?
Yes, I think in each business you should have a credo or a mission, and this, let's say, phrase, this proposition has to be acknowledged and known from all of the staff.
Very good, very good.
And they have to, to know it every day.
Very good. Something like that. It's a good answers. What I was more looking for is something like this: steps to follow in a situation that we have a complaint. We have listed for you a sort of credo, which is called BLAST, Orders of a System, and each letter has a meaning, like you said, writing that you all have to believe in and to put in application whether you encounter a complaint. The BLAST system, it says believe in the guest, then listen. We spoke about this. You have to listen to the guest to see what the problem is and try to step into the problem to understand the customer need and what happened in that particular case. Apologize to the customer. So genuinely, of course, we will never want to be too apologetic, because then you end up being how do I say? Being too apologetic sometimes is too much for a guest.
It's not helping.
Yes, it's not helping you a lot. So you do have to acknowledge, to apologize for the situation, and then fix it, as we have just mentioned. Try to fix the problem. Let's say buying guests happiness by whether you're offering something on the house, for instance, a glass of wine, as Georgetta just mentioned, or any other solution that you have to come up with in order to solve the situation. And then, nevertheless, we spoke that these complaints are part of our life, and I believe the audience, I don't quite recall who said that, but to thank the customer, it's helping me because I know how not to.
Yes, there is a word saying that a complaint is like a treasure, because it gives you an idea, a clear idea about what you have not done well, what you have done wrong, and that gives you the chance to recover it and to not do it the next step.
Yes.
The next day, sorry, the next.
It is
session.
true. So all these key points are going to help you as a waiter or as a manager in a case of a complaint, in order to try to solve and make this customer happy. I have a question in regards of listening. Why do you think that listening to the complaint is very, very important in this process?
You absorb a lot of information from the guest,
You absorb the information. Good.
so you can point out exactly where you need to look into the complaint and see if there's something that you actually can do,
Okay.
or you can take it further to your supervisors and so on.
Very good, very good. Anybody else? Listening to the customer problem, issue, that whenever he calls you.
It gives the customer the feeling that he's important, that
Yes.
he's a special,
Yes.
because you just look into his eyes and that this communication it feels very good for the customer. Even though you know that you cannot solve his problem, only the fact that you listen to him, he will be happy.
Very good. Among all of these, I I will add one more, the attitude. It is important how you treat the customer in that particular situation. Because whenever he will call you for a complaint, for sure he's not feeling comfortable. But if you go with the wrong attitude, then you can escalate the issue, or you can, how do I say it, down point the boiling point of the customer. But that's another lesson that we will talk about. Very good point. Now I have prepared for you today a little game. I need 2 volunteers. Let's see, 1, 2, okay. One is the waiter and one is the guest. It's a short scenario. I give you 2 minutes to read it, and then if you have any questions, please refer it to me. Any questions? No questions? Okay,
Okay.
we will play a little role play.
Right.
No need to stand up from the table. This is just an acting thing, and all the rest for observers, including me, we will analyze afterwards what came out of it. Right? Let's see. I'm gonna tell you a little what's happening. The waiter will be called by the guest, right? Guest being unsatisfied with his steak, right? And we'll see what happens then.
Okay, so I should not start from when I will take an order.
No,
No.
it's
Okay.
when you start, you
Okay.
call the waiter.
Waiter, I ordered a medium well, and I get a very, steak which is rare. I cannot eat this really.
Okay, sorry.
You're,
Yeah.
you're sorry, but
You're right.
I'm very hungry, and I cannot eat this
Uncooked meat for you.
uncooked
Okay.
and live meat.
Okay, it's true. You ordered a well done steak. I will, with your permission, I will take it and cook it. I will prioritize your order and cook it well done. It should be ready in 5 more minutes. So if it's okay with you.
No, I already wait 1 hour, so and it's not done. So you just in 1 hour you give me rare meat, so I'm very unhappy.
I'm very sorry for
Tell the
this.
manager, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Marian, can you please come?
Okay, yeah.
Can I offer you, until my colleague will come, can I offer you something from the house? As I will try to cook this very fast, not in 1 hour, how you said that you wait.
I would appreciate a glass of red wine. What you suggest?
I would suggest a Bordeaux from 2014. It's a very special wine that we serve it only for special customers as you. And I will be more than happy to give you from the house. And if you can give me your opinion about the wine, while our chef will take care personally of your food to be cooked very fast. It's okay?
It's okay, George. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Very well played. Thank you both for getting this short theatrical act. Now I'm gonna ask the rest of the class, or you can also answer. I wrote, my first thing that I noticed was the apology in a very professional way by the waiter on hearing the customer's issue. There was an issue, right? And I'm gonna ask you to follow, and I wanna make a little link to this blast system that we have just talked about. So if you can all add something.
I think what I noticed right away was the solving part,
Solving, yes.
where he offers something else in the meantime that she waited for the meat to be cooked.
Okay,
And she was offered a wine which she was very pleased in getting.
good. Aminta,
Also the thank you part at
Thank
the
you.
end.
Thank you.
That was very important.
So he thanked the customer for bringing up this, right? Okay. Anything else?
How he solved the problem?
Overall, he was very professional, if I may. Very well treated the customer. How do you think the customer felt after this interference with
He
the waiter?
got more trusty and
Trust.
he felt better that he was taken into account by somebody and offered something at least. So he
Very
wasn't
good.
treated bad. So
Very, very well. So he gained trust in the waiter, and nevertheless, in the overall
Experience was
experience in the business.
what was good, and the wine that he recommended me, it was very good,
Very
and I
good.
trusted his recommendation because actually I trusted because he was very confident in what he was saying.
Yes.
And while what I did, especially in order for her to don't feel the extra time that it would take to cook the meat, I involuntarily gave her a task, evaluate that wine.
Yes.
And give me feedback, if it's that special, how I mentioned you that it is.
If you will ever have a waiter such as George today, don't fire him. He's gonna bring a lot of business to you.
I will bring it home.
What I'm trying to say is that how the customer will leave this restaurant, happy or unhappy, although he experienced a problem.
Even the meal was not good, and I was very upset about the meal. The attitude of the waiter
Attitude, yes.
will bring me to come back to the restaurant.
Very well, very well. You both did very well, and I'm happy to see that the system that we have just spoken throughout the past 30 minutes or so, it is working. Very, very nice. Okay, moving on. We will talk some do's and don't do's in the no, sorry, I'm sorry. I missed that. Impact. We will talk a little bit of the impact of customers' complaints in the business. We briefly touched this point throughout in our lessons, and I promise that I will get to this 1-10 system principle. I think both of you already touched this point. It is true. If you have a problem and you go away from this restaurant with an unsolved problem, you will talk to 10 persons, that these other 10 persons will talk to another 10 of them, which brings the number to 100. So the word of mouth is very powerful nowadays, and nevertheless, the IT thing, the internet, the connectivity that we all have on the internet, if you tweet something, it will spread out maybe in less than 10 minutes in more than 100 people. So you have to be careful, right? The negative word of mouth publicity leads to reduce the process of business, and then guest loyalty is impacted. We have just experienced a guest that it just became loyal to that restaurant because of George. So thank you, George. All right. Very good, very, very good. Now, moving on, we will talk about things that we need to know in order to do in a restaurant. We have developed another system, such as the blast system, that is called STARS, right? Which stands for sorry, we all know about this. Thank you for the guest in regards of the problems that he faced. Act quickly, recover, right? The offering thing and the fixing the problem, and share the information with the team. Why do you think this share information with the team, it is important for us?
I think it's like I said earlier, a complaint is like a treasure, and if you share it with your colleagues at work, they will know what the problem. They will know how to handle it and how to do it in a very good way next time.
Very good. So if we share our problem and we share with the companions, with our comrades at work, they know about our problem, and they will for sure will try to avoid that problem. No, we do not want to have problems at work. So if I know that you had this problem, I know how you fixed it, then I know exactly how to do it as well. So it is very, very important, the sharing of the information especially in a restaurant, it's critical. Okay? And few dots of don'ts when encounter a complaint, when receiving a complaint. Don't make a scene. I have started, if you remember, if you recall, with the rolling eyes of the waiter. So if you start to make a rolling eyes attitude or shouted waiter, these things will never give you a positive note, or it will never come down to customer, right? Don't ignore a complaint, right? If you have a complaint and you feel that the waiter is not taking care of you, how would you feel? What would you do?
Well, first of all, we get angry.
More angry.
More angry.
Yeah.
And I would try to find someone above the waiter to make it so.
Yeah. And for instance, if I come, I'm the waiter and you have a complaint, and I come to you and you show me the cup is dirty or something, and I say, hey, it's okay, bro, don't worry about it, I'll take it. By using
This language, body language already,
it's not about the body language, but can you recall my acting? Hey, bro, how you?
the attitude, yeah.
By saying bro to
Yeah.
you, it doesn't make you feel
Not like a customer, it's
comfortable.
like, well, yeah.
I get very personal to you. And
Yeah.
then this is a line that you never want to cross in terms of customers, right? Okay? And don't try to make excuse, such as the example that I give you with the waiter that said, it's not my problem, it's kitchen's problem. Actually, it's our problem, it's not a kitchen problem, right? And nevertheless, don't make any promises that you cannot take care of. If I would have telling you that I will cook this steak rare, and I know that this chef never know how to cook rare, I would never say it will come out rare. You know, so if you know some problems, please face the customers. It's better this way. Okay. Well, we are getting close to the end of our sessions, but before we do that, I'm gonna ask you to open your telephones. We will have a little game that we will play on, just give me 1 second, on the Kahoot. So if you would please go on the Kahoot, www.kahoot.it from Italy, right? Okay, hold on a second.
Kappa, we go.
Kappa.
Good, yeah.
Why doesn't Okay. Are you all logged in?
Yeah.
What did you do just now?
Give in.
Desk. What's a desk? She knows it was. Okay, this is the pin that you have to enter. And it's a game with a few questions related to today's sessions in a fun way, let's say. Okay, you have to hit enter, right?
I hit enter, I'm in.
Me too.
Me too.
Yes.
Yes.
Me too.
Hold on a second. Did you all receive the? No. Okay, I have to redo this. So.
No, I have.
It's okay, it's okay.
It's okay.
Really?
Okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
Why do current?
Quiz.
Press the correct answer.
Ah, okay, I see. Oh, all right. No,
Okay.
I know. Yeah.
That's okay, no problem. Why do customer complaints? And we have 4 scenarios. Waiter is unattentive. Waiter too nice is attentive. Sorry. Waiter too nice and excellent food. So if you have all this, you will never complain, right? Okay. The only issue was the food is served slow. Okay.
I'm 769 points behind that.
That's okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The next question is.
It is appropriate to say sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Papa.
Maybe there's some fixes. Yes, or maybe you know, a picture, yes, it's there.
Good, very good, excellent. I'm gonna hide this.
No,
We'll see it at the end, at the end.
Oh, I see, I didn't read.
I'm the fastest, or not?
Okay. Just 6 more questions.
It says that I'm a pure genius.
Very good, excellent. Do not have to smile. Very well, very well. Who hit the red?
Me.
Not that genius, sorry.
Oh.
Good.
Exactly.
What is this? No good.
I'm a genius machine.
Very good. Last and not least, but not least, the question is?
Oh.
Let me see, answers. None of it correct. Okay, very well. Let's see who won this contest.
Oh.
Agenda number 3.
I'm not a genius.
And the winner is?
Baju.
Thank you very much. Thank you, George. Thank you for your participation.
I just make noise.
I hope you had fun with this.
We had
And
That's wise.
I hope you. Hold on. Now. Okay, let me get to our slide. I hope you have learned a lot of things, new things in this session in terms of how to handle a complaint. And in conclusion, I just want to mention that complaints can reveal loops in the process of stuff, so therefore you can correct your own business by looking in what kind of complaints they are, right? Better internal communication can lead to avoid guests, so yet again we have spoken about that. So it is important to communicate within the department and also between departments. And guest loyalty is impacted negatively if complaints are left unsolved within the business. Does anybody have any questions in today's lesson? I'm sure you all achieved another star in your completion towards the end of the course. And I want to thank you for taking part of this session. And just a quick reminder that after the break, the 10 minutes break that you will have, we will move on to how to respond to emergency situations within our establishment. Thank you for today.
Thank
That
you,
will be
Adrian.
all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a lovely
Thank
day.
you.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Apasă repede, 50